At number 10 is her inappropriate content. When Colleen first graced the internet in 2008, her content was nothing truly out of the ordinary at first glance. However, the Miranda character was kid-friendly coded with her loud style of comedy and colorful outfits, but often made use of adult themes throughout her videos. Ballinger included more than just a few innuendos in these YouTube videos, as she made references to her character Miranda's uncle attacking her or cuddling her, various mentions of assault, and frequently mentioned X-rated films. Watching these videos back makes me cringe with how blatant and intense she got away with being. After the sheer amount of backlash multiple YouTubers have received from creating inappropriate content for minors, it's confusing that Miranda Sings never faced the same treatment. Although it's always the parents' job to vet whatever their young one is consuming online, I can't help but think that someone who caters their content towards them would have the foresight. Coming in at number 9 is her ableist behavior. Even more so dangerous than her subliminal adult jokes is her careless display of disability stereotypes. Many have speculated on whether or not Miranda Sings' entire shtick is simply an act of punching down. In fact, Ballinger's portrayal of the character has become increasingly controversial over time, intensifying traits such as her poor social skills and notorious imitation of a speech impediment reminiscent of the comedic device portraying unattractive, outcast, and unintelligent characters through odd behavior and speech patterns. Perpetuating these harmful stereotypes influences how people with medical conditions that cause speech disorders and behavioral differences, such as autism spectrum disorder, Huntington's disease, vocal cord paralysis, and among others, are viewed by themselves and the rest of the world. Ridiculing anyone's amount of ability or for things they have no control over is never a great look and certainly should never be something that's highly praised. And at number 8 is the Miranda Sings book. Like many popular YouTubers in the early 2010s, Miranda Sings also had a book deal gracing the shelves at the front of Barnes & Noble. The book entitled Self-Help is a quote, an unhelpful self-help book, and although it's indeed unhelpful, the term barely scratches the surface of what this reading material entails. Now, promoting reading books to children is a noble gesture, however, promoting children to read your twisted and gross ideas isn't always something that gets to the top of the New York bestsellers list. As soon as the book hit shelves, Colleen was hit with waves of criticism from concerned parents, with sections like making yourself feel better by making other people feel worse, wiping, and mentions of special cuddles with your uncle. Parents deemed this book a bit too vulgar for children's content, and I don't know if the term unhelpful really cuts it, with such a strange and unnerving collection of tips. At number 7 is Colleen's history of mistreating animals. Since her allegations of mistreating people have come to light, it isn't a surprise that her energy isn't any different when it comes to animals. In a now deleted YouTube video, Colleen nonchalantly described intentionally tormenting her childhood dog until it bit her in the face, explaining that afterwards she lied and said she didn't know why the dog bit her. This decision to put the fault on the dog instead of herself was cause for the dog to be put down. A traumatic and deeply sad story, although Colleen laughs while recounting this memory, showing very little remorse for her actions as though she believed it to be nothing more than a funny story. Although I understand how some may react to tragedy in their life with laughter, something about this situation felt incredibly off. This isn't the only clip we have that makes us believe Colleen mistreats animals, as she also has pet bunnies and a dog, keeping both in very small, cramped, and dirty cages. She's made sure not to put these pets in vlogs anymore because of the backlash she's received, but hey, at least her Persian cats are groomed. Coming in at number 6 is Colleen's history of queerbaiting, which, if you aren't familiar with the term, is when people make their audience believe that their sexuality is something that it isn't in order to garner clicks. Colleen has posted a slew of YouTube videos that have been since renamed or deleted, titled things like I'm a little bit gay, I'm in love with a woman, how to tell your grandma you're gay, and my coming out story. Behaving so unseriously about this topic gives the impression that she does not have respect for people who have had experiences with coming out as part of the LGBTQ+ community. There were also instances in these videos where she thought the concept of being gay was incredibly hilarious, even though someone's identity isn't usually a great punchline, but you know, this obviously isn't her first experience punching down. Making a joke out of something that can be quite traumatic to many people is not okay, but also cashing in on clicks from clickbait about a sexuality you do not identify with and pretending to be gay for laughs is always incredibly cheap and lazy. And at number 5 is disrespecting an unhoused person. In another now deleted video that recently resurfaced, Colleen Ballinger and her friend Todrick Hall are seen harassing an unhoused person sleeping in a laundromat. In this needlessly cruel video, the duo points a camera towards the sleeping person and begins to make jokes at their expense. Harassing someone from a vulnerable community is an explicit show of Ballinger and Hall's lack of compassion, and neither of them have yet to take responsibility for these actions. I know the rest of the points on this list aren't any less disgusting, but this one is just so absurdly vile, like a type of maliciousness that you have to really think about in order to pursue. At number 4 4 is Colleen's disregard for consent. This next one on our list is all about her disrespect towards her ex-husband Josh's lack of consent. There are many instances where Ballinger admits to making her ex-husband uncomfortable for her own amusement, including touching his butt simply because he doesn't want her to, or getting in his personal space to irritate him. In a video on Joshua's YouTube channel titled "My Wife Put Her Hands Down My Pants" is pretty self-explanatory what may happen. This video depicts Ballinger supposedly putting her hand down his pants, which is gratefully not shown on camera, while he tells her to stop and is pretty visibly uncomfortable. Apparently, Colleen was just pulling at his skin, but it's not like that isn't any less weird or uncomfortable for viewers to witness. These situations are incredibly disconcerting considering the allegations that have just come to light. Josh has actually spoken up about this experience with Colleen in reference to her recent apology video. He says on Twitter, "This behavior was my reality anytime I spoke up and disagreed with her actions and rhetoric during 2009 to 2016. I was gaslit too. I was made to feel like I was always the problem. Any pain I felt was an inconvenience and was belittled. Every ounce of what you're feeling, I understand." Coming in at number 3 is her romanticization of disordered eating habits. In many vlogs, Ballinger openly admits to unhealthy eating habits, in one video telling the viewers that she ate nothing more than a bag of chips for an entire day, and her infamous applesauce diet that she took part in after pregnancy in order to lose the weight quickly. Many believe that these mentions of poor nutrition are done to brag, as she's also been seen body checking in Instagram posts, as well as a video entitled "My Body Before and After Quarantine." She also flaunts the fact that she can still fit into her old childhood clothes, in one vlog insisting that she squeeze into her 9-year-old niece's romper. Colleen's unhealthy mindset has had a direct effect on fans. In Adam McIntyre's aforementioned video, he explained that Ballinger would often compliment him on his skinny arms and stomach, and mentioned the persisting body image issues he suffers with at the hands of these comments. Although her behavior is inexcusable, eating disorders are difficult to overcome, and I hope Colleen is able to get the help she needs. Our runner-up is Colleen's racist jokes. A video from 10 years ago depicts both Ballinger and her sister Rachel in exaggerated makeup, putting on accents that create a degrading stereotype of Latinas. The video was suitably called "Miranda Sings is Racist." Colleen addressed this video with an apology uploaded to her channel, saying, "It is not funny and it is completely hurtful. I am so ashamed and embarrassed that I ever thought this was okay. I was a sheltered teenager who was stupid and ignorant and clearly extremely culturally insensitive. Racial stereotypes are not funny, they're not a joke, and they should never be joked about." But this was not an isolated incident. She as well, in a video entitled "How to Sing Like a Black Woman," made use of offensive and blatantly ignorant stereotypes of black people. Alongside this, the Miranda Sings Twitter account was home to a slew of offensive tweets making fun of POC communities, including one that read, "Beware of the Mexican masseuse with sharp nails." The amount of racist incidents that Ballinger took part in makes it hard to believe she wasn't called out about this earlier in her career. And number 1 on our list is about the cancer fundraiser. The point on this list that leads me to believe that Colleen's moral compass really has no way of coming back. Since 2015, Ballinger has held annual fundraisers for Family Reach, an organization that supports families that have children with cancer. The legitimacy of what one may believe to be a noble pursuit has come into question after fans found that Colleen uses a third-party site, Fundly, which is not an option publicly provided by charities and organizations to collect donations. Fundly puts the money into Ballinger's bank account instead of donating directly to the charity, and has caused people to ask why she's acting as an unnecessary middleman and speculate as to whether she's using the fundraisers to lower her taxes. When approached about where the money is going and to see receipts, Colleen avoids answering by saying that her haters hate that she's raising money for kids with cancer. These allegations have not been proven, however, it's confusing nonetheless. At number 10, we have a tweet from H3H3's own Ethan Klein. Although he just went public with his decision to go on a 3-week hiatus, which some have speculated to be the reason why Colleen decided to post the video when she did, he couldn't help himself from saying something. So I guess her effort to not receive his reaction was in vain. In a quote tweet replying to Pop Crave, which says, "Colleen's now infamous quote, 'The only thing I ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats,' which is in context the grooming allegations, a really stupid joke, Ethan replied with a picture of the already cancelled YouTuber Shane Dawson and his poor cat, Cheeto. The Shane Dawson cat situation is one that takes Colleen's quote pretty literally. I won't get into specifics, but Shane sure did in a 2015 podcast. Here he reveals that he did some pretty messed up stuff to his cat when he was 19 years old. The audio from this podcast resurfaced a few years later, which caused people to unsurprisingly start questioning Shane about his past actions, to which he replied with a 4-part Twitter thread disputing that his words were simply a joke. What is it with these YouTubers and cat jokes? At number 9 is a tweet from the YouTuber and musician Emma Blackery. Blackery took the YouTube trending page by storm in 2013 when she released her ukulele track entitled My Thoughts on Google+. With a pretty catchy tune alongside a state of mind most people agreed with after Google bought and changed the YouTube interface for the worst, Blackery took the opportunity of seeing her fellow YouTuber partake in a ukulele rant, but one which was far less well received or agreed with than her own. In Emma's comparison to Ballinger's, she writes, "Can't all nail it, I guess." I haven't heard from Emma in years, and seeing her grace my Twitter timeline with a banger like this was a lovely lovely way to start my Thursday morning. Her new single, Cry to Your Mother, is out now, and you can stream it on Spotify or Apple Music. At number 8 is a tweet from another fellow YouTuber, Eddie Burback. The man says in response to the apology, "I can't stop thinking about the fact that she had to sit down and make the apology rhyme," which is in context to the fact that her apology was almost spoken word poetry with a backing track, except I would not snap for it at an open mic. I don't think anyone would. The fact that Colleen, instead of, addressing her allegations promptly and seriously, or perhaps sending private apologies to the fans that spoke out against her, she decided to run with some Dr. Seuss mischief. Eddie also tweeted that the next YouTuber to do something awful should play the trombone to top this, which, listen, at this point celebrity apology videos are becoming a bit mundane, a bit everyday. I think soon YouTubers may have to start one-upping each other to get views with things like talent instead of tears. And coming in at number 7 is a tweet from Twitter user Saeed DiCaprio, who says, "What happened to having PR teams, bro?" Which is hilarious because Colleen's apology video actually commences with her saying that her publicist said it would be best if she didn't say anything about the situation, which would have been a better option than what she did do. The exact quote Colleen said in the video was, "Even though my team has strongly advised me not to say what I want to say, I recently realized they never said that I can't sing what I want to say, so here I am." Yeah, maybe Colleen, it would have been better to just go against what your publicist said not to do and make a normal apology video. At number 6 we have a tweet from Twitter user CSH Burr. They write, "To choose your fighter, Colleen Ballinger ukulele apology versus Sienna May interpretive dance apology. This comparison is obviously ranking which YouTuber anti-apology was worse. Sienna May was a TikTok personality known for making dance and lip-syncing videos, like 80% of the platform's content. In 2021, allegations came out about the social media figure and her ex-boyfriend Jack Wright, who said May had assaulted him. Sienna, instead of doing what any social media star would do, post a Notes app screenshot on Twitter telling us all about her wrongdoing with big words that she didn't come up with. No, instead, Sienna decided to stick with what she knows and post a video of her doing an interpretive dance on her YouTube channel. She didn't even say a single word in the video, so I don't even think you could count this as an apology. I don't even really know how we knew it was an apology. This video has since been deleted, but don't worry, thousands of copies are still all over the internet." At number 5 comes from Colleen's husband, Josh. Josh has actually spoken up about his experience with Colleen, and in reference to her recent apology video, he says on Twitter, "This behavior was my reality anytime I spoke up and disagreed with her actions and rhetoric during 2009 to 2016. I was gaslit too. I was made to feel like I was always the problem. Any pain I felt was an inconvenience and was belittled. Every ounce of what you're feeling, I understand." Number 4 comes from Beep Boop on Twitter, who says, "I asked GPT to write a better apology for Colleen Ballinger. The user posted a screenshot alongside this where it showed that they had input, write a YouTube apology script that's better than Colleen Ballinger's. To which ChatGPT spit out, sorry for talking to minors, won't repeat, thanks." It really could have been that concise. She could have said 8 words and been better off. I mean this in full seriousness, but if she had just posted that sentence on Twitter, I think she would be receiving half the hate she's currently getting. It's wild that an AI knows how to apologize better than a person. It worries me that the robot takeover is just around the corner. Anyways, our number 3 spot comes from Twitter user HarseIsChild, who gives us Colleen Ballinger's entire 10-minute non-apology song transcribed in one image so you don't have to listen or give her a view alongside the actual transcript. The video is monetized as of right now, and it is 10 minutes. Perfect. And since it already has almost 3 million views, she's made a ton of cash for this situation. Being a controversial YouTuber is incredibly lucrative in the short term, I will say. Not so great if you want a career, but a quick buck? Sure, as long as you're okay with having your famous birthdays page tainted forever. But better not give her any more. Besides, if you just read the lyrics, you won't have to hear them alongside her one-note ukulele track that transports you back to 2014 YouTube. No need to bring up those almost traumatic memories. The good news is that the transcripts of the video have been popping up on many social media sites, which makes you aware of what she said without giving her a view, but also makes you really understand the gravity of this non-apology. And our runner-up comes from Robin on Twitter, who says, probably the most serious tweet I have on this list, quote, "I hope Colleen Ballinger loses everything. The audacity to post that embarrassing song and pretend that she's ever actually taken accountability for anything in her life is disgusting. Minimizing the experiences of her victims by talking about jokes or mistakes from her past." And Adam McIntyre's tweet on the situation explains my thoughts on this better than I could. As he says, "As much as Colleen discredited and made fun of me, I'm glad her video did one thing, show you all exactly the type of evil woman she is, that a lot of us have experienced over the past few years behind the scenes. The mask has slipped. Everyone, meet the real Colleen Ballinger." And our number 1 spot goes to Twitter user I'm Imani Barbarian, who tweets, LMAO, Colleen Ballinger making sure people know that she's thin in her ukulele non-apology. Really is the icing on the cake. This one really struck me as well. Colleen's direct quote from the video was, bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back. Now, did she say that for the sake of the rhythm or just to remind us that she's malnourished? Literally, it was so unnecessary to bring up just how teeny tiny she is in a video attempting to apologize for her past actions. That in itself is such an absurd sentence for me to say. This was just another show of her stroking her own ego, having the knowledge of Colleen's history of glamorizing eating disorders in many of her past vlogs, where she openly admits to unhealthy eating habits, telling the viewers that she ate nothing more than a bag of chips for an entire day in one instance, as well as her infamous applesauce diet that she took part in after pregnancy in order to lose weight quickly. She's also been seen body checking an Instagram post as well as a video entitled My Body Before and After Quarantine, and she also flaunts the fact that she can still fit into her old childhood clothes, in one vlog insisting that she squeezed into her 9-year-old niece's romper. Oh my god, you can barely see her. Many fans were led to believe that these mentions of poor nutrition and being in your face about the fact that she's wasting away are done to brag, and this little mention in her apology really solidifies that thought. Colleen's unhealthy mindset has a direct effect on her fans. In Adam McIntyre's aforementioned video, he explained that Ballinger would often compliment him on his skinny arms and stomach, and mentions the persisting body image issues he suffers with at the hands of those comments. Although her behavior is inexcusable and badly placed in her apology video, eating disorders are incredibly difficult to overcome, and I hope Colleen is genuinely able to get the help that she needs.